So I watched Birds of Prey this past week and I wanted to share my thoughts. So starting off, I'll do the good, the bad, and then just my conclusion. There were very many fight scenes that were unrealistic but fun. I enjoyed the females in action and bonding because we see so many men's sequences like that, like in the Avengers or other action movies. Physically, like physics wise, were enjoyable. I also like the scene at the end of the movie where they're in the restaurant and they're all sitting and bonding together over Cassandra needing to go to the bathroom. I guess that's what I'll say. Also, I think that Harley was the most fun in the movie. I liked that they actually captured her lack of a grasp on reality, like talking to the beaver and her messy and out of order storytelling. Like that definitely seemed to capture who she was much better than Suicide Squad did. Then when she would like tie in psychology to her life, even though her life is going crazy.
Psychologically speaking, vengeance rarely brings the catharsis we hope for. Yeah.
It made sense for her based off of her past as a psychiatrist. Like I said, it was definitely different than what Suicide Squad showed of her. I didn't really enjoy her as much in that. She was kind of just an annoying part that they tried to make funny in a movie where it really wasn't enjoyable. And I've read Suicide Squad. Before I knew the movie was coming out, I read some of the more recent ones in the New 52, and I liked that version of the team, but the movie didn't make it. Harley was way better in this movie than whoever wrote her in Suicide Squad. And Huntress. Everything about her scenes were hilarious and in-depth. All around, she was just a good character, and her arc was much more well thought out than the other secondary characters in the Birds of Prey, not in the Birds of Prey. Huntress and Harley's arcs were the best written to me. Roman's descent into madness was too quick as he lacked enough scenes to be fully believable. He needed more background and not just telling his background through other characters talking about his past. Like Harley, I believe, mentioned that he was only in his position because he rebelled from his parents who kicked him out of their company. That was the most we got really out of his past. And then we were supposed to hold on to that through the whole movie. Even in the scene where Harley is making fun of his motivations for being evil, that still wasn't enough because we really didn't know him. It wasn't being shown to us. It was just being told through jokes and through passing comments. Speaking of flashbacks, story like Harley and Huntress were given. At least Renee had scenes with people that knew her to give her some exposition story. But Black Canary definitely did not really have that. She just had scenes talking to Cassandra. With Renee, like the Black Mask, her story was told too much before it was shown later in the film. So Black Canary also had really no exposition shown or told. She appeared and seemed very tough, but didn't have much history other than the passing explanation of her powers. Powers that her mother also had, which definitely slipped by viewers who aren't comic fans or fans of Arrow or DC TV shows. Overall, the movie was enjoyable. I saw it on Tuesday, which is discount day at Cinemark, so it was enjoyable if I don't think too deep about it. I understand some of people's frustrations in it being too dumbed down on the male characters, only if it was based on what they saw from Roman's story in the second half of the movie, where he became too overly evil to a point where his evilness didn't make any sense. I also understand if that frustration comes from the Joker not being there when he was shown in scenes, since I suppose the studio hasn't really figured out who they want for the Joker in DC films presently. I think that they could have included the Joker right at the beginning, yeah, for the breakup. But like I said, I don't think they figured out who they want to portray the role. Jared Leto's Joker, I don't want to ever come back because he was so on the nose, and I also know many people just hated that version because he wasn't scary or unpredictable like the Joker is supposed to be. He was, like I said, too on the nose and too want to be a villain. It was more like that Joker wanted to be the Joker. He'd heard about the Joker from like the comics somehow and was like, I'm the Joker now. He had fallen into an alternate reality hearing about the Joker. I also laughed a lot at this film and thought it was fun. Like Deadpool level fun. I know some people definitely don't agree with that, but I, as seeing movies is subjective, thought it was enjoyable. I couldn't have cared less about the male villain issues through most of it if I don't think too deeply about like the lack of scenes for the other birds of prey and stuff like that. I would really enjoy it. For fun, on a DC EU scale, I'd rank this above Aquaman, but lower than Wonder Woman. Because Aquaman definitely had some very hokey and predictable plot details, but it was still fun. And Wonder Woman was much better at developing the character, the main character, although it had a terrible villain. Thank you for watching / listening to this review, if you did get this far.